Hey guys, some time ago we did a movie review and that resulted in someone asking us to do another one and suggesting we do another one, and someone else suggested we do another one, and so someone recently suggested we have a look at Perfect Days, which was another movie that we hadn't seen. It was actually made by a Japanese team in Tokyo and had a Japanese name, but the English version, the English release that you'll be able to find is called Perfect Days. Now this movie has no romance, no violence, no chase scene, no suspense, no comedy. The first 13 minutes, the main character doesn't speak at all, and then when he does speak, it's only a couple of words. And the movie goes for 2 hours, and in that 2 hours, he probably speaks a total of 5 or 6 times, and maybe a total dialogue of about 50 or 60 words in the whole movie, right? He encounters different characters, but the contacts or the exchanges are no more interesting or exciting than any exchange that you would have had today, probably. Right? So, having said that, we loved it. We really enjoyed it. It went for 2 hours and we really enjoyed it. It's not going to be for everybody. There will be no doubt. I know for a fact from the videos that we make, where nothing happens, you know, that some people really don't like it. You know, you get these people that come along and complain that was boring and that wasted 10 minutes of my life, and all those cliche comments that they copy from someone else that they've heard say. So those people won't like it at all. What was great about it was a whole bunch of things were good about it. One of them was, for you guys that are into Japan, you'll love it, because it's basically the life of a old Japanese guy who wakes up in the morning every day in his little old house in Tokyo, and folds up his futon and cleans his teeth and goes outside and buys a coffee from the vending machine and gets in his car and goes to work all day cleaning toilets. Right? So he cleans toilets in Tokyo. Interesting thing about it, I think there was something that I read about this that said that the guy that made the movie, the guy that put the movie together, was originally intending just to do a documentary about the toilets in Tokyo, and then ended up doing this movie. I don't know if that's true or not, but what happens is every day this guy gets up in the morning and goes and cleans toilets, and they show us dozens of different toilet buildings in Japan and in Tokyo, which is really interesting because they've got some of those classics. Some of you guys might have seen the glass toilet building that is see-through. You can actually see into the toilet. However, when someone goes in and locks the door, the glass becomes opaque and you can't see in anymore. And then different buildings. We've shown you lots of them as well. Just interesting buildings that they've made to house the toilets, you know. So just different structures that they make in parks and other public places that are really interesting structures that are sort of like art in themselves, right? And so he's in and out of these buildings one after another. He goes in and cleans the toilets, right? Really meticulously. If you've got some sort of phobia about toilet cleaning or germs or something like that, you might not like it too much. But that's basically what he's doing every day. He gets up in the morning and does his thing, goes out and cleans toilets all day. So the people who are into Japan will like it because it's sort of, it's a movie, you know. Obviously there was a script and obviously there was a plan and there's lots of extras in it, and it's a movie, but it's shot in sort of a documentary style, just following this guy's life. And it's really similar to an experience you'd have if you went and stayed in Tokyo and just had a day-to-day life in Tokyo. It's what it's like. You know, he gets up in the morning, he gets his coffee from the vending machine, he drives through Tokyo to go to work. You know, at night, it's really cool. At night he goes to the sento, which is sort of like an onsen, like a public bath. So he sits there with the other old guys and washes himself and then soaks in the public bath. And then he goes to a little counter restaurant thing and goes and eats noodles, and it's classic, just a normal life of a Japanese person in Tokyo, basically. So there's that aspect to it that you might enjoy, and the scenery, you know, what you see. And again, like a movie we talked about recently, it wasn't shot cinematically to make Tokyo look amazing. It was just shot like you'd see it, like our videos are, where we don't try to make things look amazing. We just video what we see and we show it to you. And that's sort of similar to the way this movie was made. One of the extras in the movie is actually Sky Tree, which is that big tower in Tokyo. This movie was only made last year too, by the way, 2023. So quite often, different shots in the movie, there's Sky Tower in the background. But it's not sort of featured in a spectacular way or anything. It just happens to be there, and it's just his simple life, you know. Now, The Perfect Days is the name of the movie, and it's sort of about his attitude. That's what it's really about. Is his attitude. You know, he comes out the door every morning. How's that guy? Comes out, didn't even look. That guy in that white car did not even look at us. He comes out the door every morning. And looks up at the sky and takes in a deep breath and smiles, you know, and then goes buys his coffee from the coffee machine. And he has various interactions throughout the story, but just like we would if we were just hanging out in Tokyo for the day. The sort of exchanges that you might have yourself, you know. But it's how he deals with it and his attitude towards it. And he's very calm and very, you know, he spends a lot of time reading and a lot of quiet time, and he's very observant. I think one of the reasons I like it so much, he's really observant, and that's one of the things he uses to just enjoy his day, is just observing things. And interestingly, some of you might have seen a video I made a week or so ago that showed just a park that we went to that we thought was nice, right? And I shot the quick video of that park and said, look at this nice park in Japan, right? That was the whole video. No narration, look at this nice park. And in that park was a really nice tree, and I actually lay underneath that tree, and I was looking up at the sky, and it was amazing, sort of looking through the leaves, you know. So I actually took a photo of it, and by the time you watch this video, I've probably posted that photo on Patreon and Coffee, and so you guys have already seen that photo, which I took like 2 weeks ago, right? And I posted the video, but just didn't get around to posting that photo yet, right? And so that's what he does too. He sees, you know, looks through some leaves on a tree and goes, wow, that's really pretty, and takes a photo, right? And he's old school. He takes a photo with a film camera and then goes and gets it developed. But that's what he does, and he'll be standing outside. You know, at one stage he's cleaning the toilets, and this person wanted to use the toilet, so you had to go outside and wait for them. And he stood there and he's looking, and he could see the shadows of a tree on the side of the building. And he was just looking at the shadows, you know. And I can really relate to that, because that's where our videos and our photos come from, is just see something, go, oh, look at that, that's cool, and just take a video or a photo. So I could really relate to that. I really relate to that. And he's this place where he often had lunch, and it was in a shrine, the grounds of a shrine, and there was a beautiful momiji tree, beautiful tree. And every time he went there, he said the tree was his friend. He'd take a photo of this tree, looking up at this tree through the leaves. so just simple stuff, but it's sort of captivating. I guess the way it's shot was really well done, and being, you know, if you're interested in Japan, you'll find it interesting. This actor, I mean, he virtually said nothing. There's different people that speak to him during the movie, but he doesn't speak much. In fact, one of the other characters actually says at one stage he doesn't talk. He doesn't talk much, and he just doesn't. But just very expressive, you know. Just watching his face, very expressive, and it's just a fascinating movie. 2 hours that held our attention, right? Myself and my wife. So we're watching it. I mean, he doesn't talk much, and the other people don't talk much either. There's not a lot of dialogue goes on. So watch it in Japanese if you can, because it's more real. You know, at one stage there I checked to see if it had captions. I turned on the captions and they were captions, but it's just not the same. You know, they try to translate what he was saying into English and it just doesn't work. You know, he walks up to that restaurant place and sits at the counter, and the guy says, oh, it's going to someone else, because he knows that the guy's just finished work, and, you know, and they translated that into, oh, you've had a hard day, here's a drink or something like that. So if you want the Japanese culture experience, just watch it in Japanese with the captions turned off, because the captions just don't do it. You know, you can't put a lot of that stuff into English. So and there's not much happens really. There's a few things, there's a few different people. I'll try not to spoil it for you, but there's not much to tell you. I mean, there's a few different interactions with a few different people, and it's just interesting that his attitude, and his appreciation of life. That's really what the whole movie's about. The perfect days. That's the thing. He's having perfect days, just doing his day-to-day stuff and cleaning toilets, because of his attitude, basically, which you can just sort of read on his face. So it's a strange movie. It's a strange movie to describe, you know. But and it won't be for everybody. There'll be some people that find it really boring. Probably won't be into it at all. Oh yeah, the simple things. He's got in his car. He has a bunch of old cassettes from the 70s and 80s. And so for an old guy like myself too, I appreciated the music as well. But again, not a lot of music. Just while he's driving the car, he gets out a cassette and he puts in his cassette into his cassette player. And his car's got a cassette player, right? Old style. And so he'll play a cassette while he's driving his car. And then when he gets to where he's going, of course, the music stops. So there's almost no soundtrack as well. When he's in the toilets, cleaning the toilets, that's the sound. You know, so I think I appreciate it as well, because this is what we try to do with our videos as well, just show you what we see. And we do put music on our videos now and again, and we do narrations, but we try not to. Our preference is just to shoot stuff and show you, and have no narration and no music at all, just to show you what it really is. And that's what that movie does. That's what that movie does. It just shows you stuff, you know. And so purely from a visual point of view, it's just showing you stuff in Tokyo. And does a really good job. Just day to day too. No spectacular angles or helicopters or drones or any of that spectacular sort of stuff. None of that. Just the same stuff that you'd see yourself if you're walking around Tokyo. That's what you see. You know, the centaur's great. He goes to the centaur with the old guys and, you know, all that sort of stuff. Actually, I was sitting at the lights. I'll just have a quick look. The cassettes. Oh yeah, playing the animals music. Yeah, cleaning toilets, interesting structures. Oh yeah, the buildings, the toilet buildings themselves, fascinating. 13 minutes in, nobody had spoken in the first 13 minutes of the movie, and then when he did speak, he hardly spoke at all. Meticulous, yeah, he's a little bit meticulous in what he does, but not to the point of, you know, that it's an issue, you know, not to the point where it's not healthy. But just sort of meticulous in every step he does. The Zen came to mind a few times in the movie. It's not really Zen, but there's sort of an element to that where he's just doing what he's doing. You know, he's just doing what he's doing and just enjoying what he's doing and keeping it simple. Keeping it simple seems to be the underlying key to him, you know. So yeah, that's it. And then he's just going about his life, and then he's just making having random connections with people, you know, brief connections with people, and how he reacts to that, you know. So you've got to see it to get it. Again, there'll be people who probably watch the first 15 minutes and lose interest, you know, and there's no doubt about it. They're the same people that lose interest in our videos really quickly as well, probably. But I'm sure some of you guys that appreciate our videos will love that movie, because it's really, really good. It won lots of awards, apparently. I try not to, when someone asks for or suggests a review of a movie, what I've been doing is I don't do any research. I had to look for that one, so I looked for it, and all I searched was, I wanted to know the Japanese name, which I've now forgotten. It means light passing through rustling leaves or something. I can't remember what it was in Japanese. And I wanted to know when it was made and who made it, and that was it. And then in that, when I was looking for those things, I did spot awards that it had won. Came up, and it's won an award for this and an award for that. But I try not to read other reviews or, you know, do the Wikipedia. I try to avoid Wikipedia on every topic that we talk about, because don't want any of our information to come third party sort of thing. We prefer even an unskilled, ignorant review, just from what we observe, in the same way that, you know, we show you stuff that we see here without Wikipediaing it, you know, because we figure that if people want that sort of stuff, they can Wikipedia stuff themselves. You know, you don't want to watch a video where we've got our information Wikipediaing. We tend just to give you what we see ourselves. So just found out where it was, got the video, watched it last night, and now we're talking about it. That's all the research that went into it. So if you want to do any Wikipediaing, you can do that yourself, you know. But highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Whether or not, you know, likely the majority of people won't be into it. It'll just be too slow for them. But just this guy's attitude and how observant he was really appealed to me as well. In this age where, you know, you see people walking around staring at their phones, not looking at what's going on around them, you know, to experience somebody there really observing what was going on around him and reacting to it in a really positive way was really refreshing, you know. So anyway, check it out. Perfect Days. Good movie. And to that person that recommended that we watch it, thanks very much. We both enjoyed it. It was really good. Thank you very much. More videos coming soon.